Good morning.
Good morning.
What this gets to is instead of just specific players, it's kind of what do you want? If you assume that Marcus is one of your centers, that's your other. I think you need to get back to what we saw like in game one, game five. Somebody who's a vertical threat, so you can get above the rim, finish on picking a little.
Everyone doing good today? Or this morning?
Good.
Good. Good morning, Maris. Denise. All righty. Let's it is 11 o'clock. Ready to get started? We'll just start by saying thank you. I know it's the midst of the summer. Folks are in the midst of vacations and taking care of family and trying to enjoy the rest of the summer here. We have school starting here shortly. But I just want to say thank you all for coming on and just lending your support and efforts to us all trying to work as one and make Clayton beautiful and a growing, thriving community. I'm looking, I got two machines, so I'm not looking off here. I'm trying to follow the agenda we have up here. First, let me start by saying we will be having the special election on September 21st to fill the seat for the late Commissioner Gregory. That qualifying will be July 19th through 21st. So you all will be seeing a lot of signs going up in the area. We just want to say that's what this is about. Second, we just want to make people aware that Chief Deputy Roland Borscher with the Sheriff's Department is taking on the responsibility for Sheriff Hill in his absence at this time. So correctly, we do not have an interim sheriff. We just have the chief deputy assuming those responsibilities at this time. So I'll make you all aware of that. We do have another COVID, the second, I don't know if you call it installment, but the second shot for the COVID is going on today over at Legends headquarters in that parking lot. And we did a great job. I think we vaccinated somewhere between 31 and 35 a couple of weeks ago. So those folks are coming back out, had a good time and all. And we're moving forward. So those of you all that are still interested in getting a vaccine, let me know. Even though this is the second installment, if we need to do another one, most definitely we'll go ahead and make that happen. What else do we have? Want to make you all aware, we have a smart pedestrian planning project going on here in Clayton County. You all know that we've had a high number, unfortunately, of pedestrian fatalities this year so far. I think we're up to about 18 on the 1941 corridor. And we've got to begin to address this aggressively. Even though this is a state road, this is still Clayton County, and we have to figure out what we can do. So right now, there is a joint project going on with ARC and Georgia Tech, where we are looking at how do we begin to create some solutions in handling this issue, not only just there, but throughout Clayton County with sidewalks, and which is one of my goals is to begin to really put sidewalks throughout this community. I think that's going to begin to enhance the safety efforts in this community, as well as the beautification efforts. What else do we have? We've got the infrastructure development. I know a lot of you all are seeing on Valley Hill, Mount Zion area, Battle Creek, a lot of heavy equipment coming in. Well, what we have is we've got the largest infrastructure development plan that's ever been implemented in Clayton County. This will be the largest undertaking ever. And the whole purpose of this is to begin to create an infrastructure which is going to propel and spur economic growth in our community. We want economic growth, but we also want it in a controlled environment. We've had some issues where folks want to come in and put in housing and things of that nature. And right now, some areas are not conducive to having it right now because of the infrastructure, the current infrastructure in place with our roads. So what we are trying to do here with this project is begin to create an environment that is going to promote economic development and growth for this county. So I want to make you all aware of that, and we'll be coming up and really discussing this at a later date and later time, but you all will be seeing that going on for the next few years. So I think we're making great strides in this area. What else? I want to thank all that came out to our golf tournament last week at Lake Spivey to benefit the Alzheimer's. It was a success, and the Alzheimer's, as we know, is of dire need here in our community. And we're going to do everything, and I am going to do everything within my power to make sure that these agencies that are assisting from our youth to our veterans to our older citizens are going to thrive and be prosperous and be of profit to you all. So I just want to say thank you all for joining in, and those that didn't, that gave, I appreciate you as well. Let me see if she is here. Judge Hill, are you on? I can't see who's. I can't see a list of everyone. Judge Hill? Okay, we'll get to her when she comes back. I tell you what, can we go ahead with our Parks and Rec update? Is he on yet? Well, I'll give the Parks and Rec update. Right now, as you all have seen over at Lake Spivey, it is coming along beautifully. We've done a lot of good work in there. We're scheduled to open. Because of the COVID, we've had to back up our grand opening date because of just getting supplies in. It's been very slow, but we're moving diligently to make this happen. You all can see from the street level, the walkways and paths are being used immensely. So that's a great thing for us. And we're moving forward to making this just something that is second to none. We want Clayton County to not mimic what others are doing, but let's be creative in what we're trying to do, and let's put something on a grand scale. So that's what we want to do with that as well. So I want to thank you all for that. Trying to think what else do we have for Troy. Troy knows the other parts of that, so we'll find out when he comes on. I see we have Erica Rocker. Erica, would you like to discuss what's going on in Economic Development Way? Some of the exciting things that you're doing here in the county.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Commissioner and constituents of District 4. I'm Erica Rocker, the Economic Development Officer for Clayton County. And I'll just say it is a great time to be in Clayton. I have no less than about 6 RFIs a week. Those are requests from information coming in from our state Department of Economic Development project managers. And these are regarding companies that are scouting the entire country and have honed in on the Southeast. And if they reach out to me, that means the company has identified a site in Clayton that they are interested in. It certainly means we are still being competitive with other places they're considering, and we're not always privy to that information. But it's exciting. The way, just so you'll know, the way we represent the county is we respond with a 5-page, what we call an offer letter. And we recently did that with a company and project win called Freshly. Many of you are familiar with the ready-made meal space like Blue Apron and Hello Fresh. But Freshly is based in New York. They've got operations in Arizona and Maryland, and they decided to open up a small plant in Cobb County. Well, business has been so good, they looked to expand and actually grow their footprint to 700 jobs. And Clayton was chosen for that end of the project, which is a big win for us and for the whole state. Freshly basically prides themselves on low salt, low sugar, healthy meals that are prepackaged and ready to eat, that are arrive at your doorstep, ready for you to put in a microwave or an oven and cook. And so we're excited to have them as a corporate client. They've leased out just under 300,000 square feet of space. And that's in Ellenwood. And so we're very happy to have them on board. And we've gotten a lot of shine as a county because of that project, which many states in the whole Southeast, from Texas all the way over to the East Coast where we are, competed for that project. Very excited to report I've been working with our school system, and we'll be close to a very close announcement with Clayton County Public Schools. We helped them do some site selection for a big arena project so they can host their graduates and not have to pay and contract space out every year when our students are graduating. So we're look forward to that announcement. Really within the next 2 weeks. It will be very exciting for us all. Regarding South Lake Mall, I'll mention a little bit about that. I met with the general manager, and you'd be pleased to know the mall is doing well, back up to 94% occupancy of their retail space. They even have some of the out parcels under contract, and the city of Morrow has 3 of the homes in the Old Town Morrow area under contract by restaurants. So you're going to see that area really take off and be that signature exit and focal point, I guess, for entertainment, shopping, hotels, etc., for the county. Economic development is a patient man's game. It is, it's dealing with prospects, it's submitting sites, it's giving tours, and sometimes you get a win, sometimes you don't. But just want to let you know we're working hard to present Clayton as a great place to live and shop and invest. And so, we hope to work with you, or if you need any information, or you're opening a small business or have questions or a prospect, please give my office a call. We're sharing space with the chamber. We're subleasing space with them, and it's a great partnership because they are there to give our businesses a way to get engaged locally. We're here to recruit, attract, and help our businesses expand and offer them resources as needed. Thank you, Commissioner. That's all I have. By the way, if you tune in real quick, this coming Tuesday to the work session, we'll be hearing our Economic Development Strategic Plan update. We've been working on that since really September of last year. We had the CREST team at Clayton State to go over our plan, which the last one was done in 2013. So it definitely needed an update. And what this plan does, we had them look at every aspect of the county, our strengths, our weaknesses, and the end result is a blueprint for how to maximize our opportunities for economic development and growth. So if you want to tune into the work session, or we're meeting back in person now, it's at 5:30 this coming Tuesday, but it'll be about a 30-minute presentation with a lot of good information. You'd be surprised at our numbers, and it's just a very interesting data dive that they did for us with some good recommendations at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. We do have one question, I think, about one of the projects you're trying to bring in, and they're asking, what are the wages?
The wages of the Freshly project?
Yes.
The starting salary was $18 an hour for line workers. Their administrative staff, their exact employee count is 665, and 350 of that are the line workers, or what we call hourly employees. The rest are the refrigeration manager, which is a very hard position to find, and that starting salary is right around $75,000. So for all of what we call administrative, managerial, and executive staff, salaries are starting at $75,000 a year and go upwards of there.
Great.
They have 6 employees that are making 6 figures that will be on site.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that update, and thank you for the work you've done. I know I want to recognize Mr. Drew Andrews for serving on our Development Authority Board. So thank you, Drew, for all you do in assisting the Clayton County and moving forward as well.
Mm-hmm.
I now want to bring on, for our safety and police, I want to bring on Captain Flynn. We begin to discuss what's going on here in our crime stats and what's happening. And good morning.
Good morning to everybody. Well, for the last week, I'll address specifically. Our numbers are looking really good. We had a significant drop off in vehicle thefts. No robberies that were reported within District 4 at all for the last, well, actually 4 weeks. We've only had one. So, thefts have dropped off, which traditionally thefts tend to go up somewhat in the summertime with vacations and things like that. So our violent crime and our vehicle thefts and things that we had, been seeing sort of upward trends, we're actually seeing downward trends. The burglaries, when I researched into those, 3 were what you would, I guess you could say, the more traditional, what you would expect, a burglary, not knowing who, what, or why they went into somebody's house. And the other 2 were people that were known to the actual victims. For 2021 in general, our numbers are looking phenomenal. Our stolen vehicles are down 41% over last year. We're down 39% on burglaries, 88% on robberies, and then 30% on thefts. So our trend for the actual sector is down in everything. And that's, I like to think that the men and women of the Sector 4 precinct are working very hard and doing their best to suppress crime, but it's also, hands to the citizens, the people who are calling us and who are providing information and calling us when they see something suspicious. A lot of times those things lead to us being able to resolve other crimes and other things that are going on. So, it is a team effort in every sense of the word, that we are, being able to see reductions in these crimes and these things. And I would just, ask the community to continue to be vigilant, especially about the leaving cars running at gas stations. That's still been a trend that does happen over time. Somebody runs into the gas station and doesn't want their car to get hot, so they leave it running in the parking lot, and when they come out, their car's gone. So, some of these things are things that, just small steps can make a big difference. That's really all I have. Chief Roberts, do you have anything, sir?
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, everybody. No, sir. Well, the captain hit everything on the head for your sector. I just want to talk about violent crime for a minute. And over the holiday weekend, we saw a lot of gun activity and gunfire. Of course, some of that could be mixed in with firework activity, but as we know, in the summer, we see an increase in crimes such as robbery, aggravated assaults, because people are more active and we have more people moving about. So I encourage the community to stay vigilant and call us whenever you see something that appears suspicious. And what you'll see from our agency in the next few weeks is a more directed, targeted, aggressive approach as it relates to gun violence in an effort to take more guns off the street. In reference to the pedestrian project, I applaud Clayton County for taking the lead to try to reduce our number of pedestrian incidents, but I also have to ask the community, it does no good for us as a community if our leaders work hard to get us sidewalks and we don't use them. Many of our pedestrian fatalities are a result of individuals choosing to try to take shortcuts at major thoroughfares like Terra Boulevard and cut across, often in times of darkness where they cannot be seen, and it's unfortunate. So as a community, we have to band together to encourage our pedestrians to use these great avenues of transport that are being made available to us through our leadership. And finally, last year, I believe it was during the month of October, we participated in the National Faith and Blue event. We had a food drive, which was very successful during the pandemic. And that's become an annual event that we're planning for to occur during the first week of October. And ironically, we're planning another food drive at the beach. And the time frame aligns with one of Commissioner Davis's town hall events. So Commissioner, while I got you on the spot, I want you to pencil us in for the weekend of October 8th. And if you would be so kind as to have your event in accordance with our food drive, I think it would be right on point. So if you'll take that into consideration, I'd appreciate it. And lastly, we also have Captain Robert Maddox on this call. He has taken over Sector 2 and replaced Captain Green. We had to do some realignment in reference to a lot of promotions. Not promotions, well, yes, a lot of promotions that come as a result of many retirements. We've seen a lot of retirements in the last 6 months, and we will have another group retiring July 23rd, and there's been a lot of change and movement within the agency. So near the end of the month, we will have a change of command event so that everyone knows who their new leader is and they have the appropriate contact information. Just stay patient. In the meantime, if there's a change in your area, reach out to the commander that you know, and they will refer you to the right person. But Captain Flynn's not going anywhere, so you're in a good space.
You promised me that?
I got it. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. That's all I have.
All right. Captain Maddox, welcome.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I happen to live down in the south part of the county off McDonough Road. So Terra Boulevard getting fixed is an important thing for me. Going to and from work is
I
quite an
understand.
interesting endeavor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we take that into consideration seriously. So I just want to say thank you. But we all know if you want to put your number on chat so folks know how to contact you if we have a situation, that would be more than helpful for us all to have. And
Yes.
also, Chief, I want you to also tell us about your steak breakfast, car giveaway to come meet the chief in the mornings. Is he gone now?
After the captain gets done, I'll confirm the date. I'm looking now. It's upcoming.
Because when is that event?
I'm looking through my calendar now. I thought it was Captain, go ahead while I nail down the date.
Got it. Real quickly, the small area of mine that I have that's in your district, we haven't had a whole lot of crime issues in that area. It was mostly domestics. We actually put a lot of road checks, a few road checks over there, a lot of traffic activity. I have been working with Miss Betty who lives in the area, reference some parking issues, trying to get that resolved. And we're trying to stay in that area to get any parking issues resolved. But as far as crime goes, it's very limited in that area.
Great. Well, that's always good to hear. I'm trying to find Chief's event as well.
It is July 20th.
And what's it called, Chief?
It's Coffee with the Chief, no steaks. It's July 20th, and it will be coming out. If we hadn't posted it on our Facebook page, we usually start at around 7. We try to catch folks going to work. And Captain Richards, you on here?
Sir. All right. Can you repeat? You froze. Is it me?
Chief, I can answer those questions in regards to the Coffee with the Chief time and schedule.
Go ahead with it, Detective Bryant.
Yes, while we're on the subject, yes, it is the Coffee with the Chief. It's going to be July 20th at the Dunkin' Donuts at 6622 Terra Boulevard. And that's going to be between the hours of 7 and 8 a.m. Also, we have our National Night Out event, which is August the 3rd. And that address is going to be at 5469 Riverdale Road at the Plaza. That is going to be between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. And as the chief also stated, our second annual Faith in Blue event is going to be, I believe we're going to be doing one separate one for each precinct. And that is going to be on the weekend of October the 8th between the hours of 10 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Well,
Can you hear me now?
yes, sir.
I think I heard Detective Davis give you all the information, but I want to clarify. It's Coffee with the Chief, no stakes, but there's an opportunity to interact and ask any questions you may have that's on your heart and mind, and we can just get together. If you don't know the leaders in the police department, it's a great time to meet.
Great. And let me just commend you all on what you all have doing and have done. We hear on the news and through the media what policing efforts are going on all over the country. And it's many times it's in the negative, but I want to say that I believe we have one of the greatest police departments in the country. Our statistics show that it's down, and our police force and police are engaging with the community. I mean, out at the parks with the young men and women as they play football and play these games. And this is what life is about. It's about them understanding that folks walk and talk just like them. They just chose to do something different with their lives, and that we can all do something positive. So Chief, to you and your whole staff, thank you very much for all you do and putting yourself in harm's way and keeping us safe. I also have a question here, I think for Erica, and someone, I'll let you answer it, Erica. If they're asking about the Tuesday strategic plan update, they want to know time and place and all of that.
I don't know, this interior looks nicer, but I like.
Okay, the update will be at the Board of Commissioners meeting at 5:30 on Tuesday. So hang on, I'm trying to get my camera fixated.
Yeah, that's our work session.
Oh, yes, that's the work section. And I believe right now, from the clerk, that it's the only item, there it is. Okay, yeah, I believe it's the only item on the agenda, so there should be, we wanted to allow a lot of time for Q&A from the BOC after they hear, not only they did a community-wide survey of just stakeholders from business to residents, and then they present the executive summary and then the strategic plan. So there should be a good time for dialogue, but everybody really should listen in, and we're expecting good things. 5:30 Tuesday, in person.
Thank you for that. And one of the things that we've done over the last year, we started these work sessions on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month. And those are geared to where you all can hear about what we're thinking about and what we are trying to instill and not instill into the community. So it's a good time to come out to listen and to even have dialogue with us after the work sessions to find out, okay, why is this happening? And me as a commissioner and our other commissioners, we do have questions as well. And this is where we can begin to get a lot of our questions answered, especially those via you all. So I truly, truly, and highly recommend that you all get engaged in this. So I thank you for that as well. I'm trying to follow the questions as we move forward here.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Maddox has put his number out there. That's great. What else do we got?
Commissioner Davis, I got a question for law enforcement. Freddie Edenfield. I had a shooting. There was a shooting in my community on the 27th of June. I contacted the Clayton County Police Department, talked to the deputy investigating. I had two questions. What happened to the shooter? Is the shooter okay? And is the not the shooter, is the victim okay? And then I wanted to know if the shooter was in custody. I can understand not getting any information on the victim, but I was also told by the detective he could not give me any information as to whether the shooter had been captured, charged, or incarcerated. I don't understand the second piece of that.
Timeout taken.
Well, Mr. Edenfield, I don't know why someone would tell you that. That's information that the community needs to know. So what we need to do is Captain Flynn will get with you to get the location of that incident. We can readily let you know whether individuals involved in those matters were injured or survived, and whether they're still at large, or what action we've taken thus far. So if you would, if you have your contact information, Captain Flynn, if you send it directly to Captain Flynn, he can find out the location and work diligently to find out what was going on with that case and get you the information you need.
Thanks much. I'll privately message Captain Flynn with my contact info.
Thank you, sir.
Chief, we also had, and you answered it into the chat, we had the question come from one person about who do they contact in non-emergency?
Absolutely. I thank you for that question. Always, if you need to contact anyone about non-emergency matters, I encourage you to start with your sector commander first. Make sure you get their information. Both of these captains' information are in the chat for you. And if you have a doubt as to whether it's a non-emergency or emergency, I encourage you to call 911 first, and then we'll sort it out. But if you're confident that it's not an emergency issue that does not require a police officer on scene immediately, contact your sector commander and he should be able to direct you as to what you need.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Also now, is there anyone on from code enforcement? I'm gonna get code enforcement in here. Anyone from code enforcement? Well, those questions will be on you today, Chief. What's the next one?
I give it a shot.
Since we have, and I want to go ahead because even though she's not on the agenda, sometimes when you do have people with the knowledge in the area, you need to put them on the spot sometimes. So we do have Dee Haney on from the Board of Education. Dee, don't get mad at me, but can you just tell us a little bit about what's going on over there with our fine schools and with some of the work you all are doing? Dee? She's on mute. Dee, is she coming on? Well, we'll see. Hopefully she'll begin to give us a little update on what's going on with our schools. But what we'll do now is we'll move into our issue discussion where we want to hear from you all. And today we've gotten a lot.
Hi, Commissioner.
Go ahead. There you go.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right. How's the community? Hey, I just want to give a quick update. Right now, we're just in the midst of trying to get back into our normal. This elementary schools will be resuming. School will resuming back on August 2nd with the elementary and middle schools. Returning back. High school, of course, will be on a hybrid schedule. From this point, the vaccinations are going well. It's optional, but the masks are required for staff if they're vaccinated as well. Also, for the fun part of it, we are having a back to school virtual, not a back to school virtual, but a back to school drive-through that will be held later on this month. If you can go onto the website, Clayton County School Board website, and you can register there and they will give you the location. And so we're having that as well. So, and also in collaboration with City Council Danya, as well as Patricia Sebo over at Lee Street Elementary School. I will be collaborating with that initiative for a back to school as well. So we have fun initiatives for our students as of supplies. So please go onto the websites and just sign up and register so that your children can receive those supplies. So that's basically it. And just continue to just be safe and just continue to enjoy your summer.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit about density and growth here in the county. We're moving forward. We all say we want better restaurants, we want better stores, we want that in there. But I want to begin to listen to you all and get your feedback and take on density as it is now and where do we want to go? How dense do we want to go? Do we want to build up? Do we want to build out? How's our infrastructure going to support this as well? And what comes first here? Pulling new communities in and new developments in, or trying to get our infrastructure in place and ready for that growth? So I just want to hear from you all. We've had some developers come in the last few weeks proposing some projects, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from the community. And so this is the time I just really want to hear from you all saying, this is what I don't want to see, this is what I do want to see, and this is where we want to go. So it's on you all. I'm turning it over.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Judy Taylor. How are you today?
Good. Good morning, Miss Taylor.
I guess you know what I want to talk to you about. It's about the proposed 195 attached townhomes that they're proposing to build at Noah's Ark Road and Thornton Road down in Jonesboro, which is one of the worst areas that for traffic and for other safety reasons that could possibly be. I do know that the zoning board did recommend denial, and I'm certainly hoping, since I might not be able to attend your meeting, that you will follow along and will consider what they've taken into consideration, not only from a traffic, but from a big safety issue because of our school buses and our emergency vehicles and everything. If they put over 400 and something more vehicles going into that area, would certainly add issues, and certainly issues for those people who already live there and for any new people that would come there. So I want to make sure that I do ask you to consider denying this at your meeting that's coming up, and to make sure that people know that when zoning signs go up anywhere in their area, they need to pay particular attention and get in touch with planning and zoning just to see what it's all about. You may not be against it, you may be for it or against it, but you need to know about it and know what's happening. And so you can always contact them to find out what's going on. But I would encourage anybody to be at the commissioners meeting down in Smith Street on the 20th of July. If they have any concerns, or they can share, I'm sure you give out your email address and you give out your telephone number if they have any concerns about this project that is proposed in that area, because it is not the best use of that property at this time. And we do need more, like we say, until we get more jobs, more businesses, and more things for people to do and everyone else. The people that would come there into that place could not even exit and would get unhappy about what's going on. We're going to have more issues with safety and concerns about that. So I'm asking you to please consider this at the meeting, this upcoming meeting that's coming up now.
Thank you. And I was at the zoning meeting this past Tuesday, and they did have a big turnout. There was 2 developments that they did discuss. One of them was the Noah's Ark, and the other one was the Jonesboro Road North McDonough project as well. So we did hear from the citizens as well as both of those projects. Both of them, the one on North McDonough was for single family homes and townhomes, I believe. So we did discuss that as well. But going back to it, and Ms. Taylor, you said something towards the end of your comment where you said we want more jobs and more businesses here. The question becomes, can we bring them here with our community in its present state from an infrastructure? And that's not just for you, that's kind of for everyone. You know, can we do this? What do you see as how do we begin to move forward with this? I see Mr. Dave Murphy, you've put something out here. Can you come tell us about your comment here?
Yeah, Commissioner Mont, I'm just saying that a lot of times you'll drive down a road and you'll see a sign and you have to, try to grab a pen or pencil if you can and write down the number to call, and you call the number and you get no answer, or you can't get the information you need. So I'm a big proponent of putting things on a website so citizens can look at their leisure.
Okay. So we need to update that website a little bit, be better at updating the website.
And keep it updated as well, because again, a lot of things are going on in the county when it comes to zoning, and all you can remember is you might remember a street. That would be very helpful.
Duly noted, duly noted. Anyone else? This is the time. I mean, we're trying to get ideas here. We're putting forth this massive project, like I say, the largest ever in Clayton County's history, in really trying to engage our infrastructure and improve our infrastructure through that Riverdale area, Valley Hill Road, all the way down Battle Creek. And this is where we want to begin to discuss. It's painful for many, but we're hoping, and I believe it's going to be helpful in the long term, where we can begin to spark positive economic growth in this county, where we can begin to have the Class A office space that will encourage those upper income jobs, as well as some of the, what do they call them, what people call the nicer restaurants and establishments to frequent. Anyone? Everyone's quiet on this today.
This is Judy Taylor again. If we bring in a lot of more housing and everything else too, before we take care of the other issues and everything, it's only going to become more difficult, I think, because we need to take care, because what the project you're talking about along Battle Creek in that area, and then what we're talking about right now is down in the south part of the county, down around Noah's Ark and everything, where I don't believe there are plans to do this. They're doing a lot of work on Terra Boulevard, and they're making some changes in some of the area, which is affecting traffic already. But we need to make sure that before we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more houses built for people to come in that are going to be suffering through the same issues we have until we can get them fixed, we need to work on things ahead of time and see if we can get things together and get it fixed prior to bringing in so much more close, tight traffic causing and everything, housing and everything else too. So I'm hoping we can look at all areas of the county that are proposing to have these huge developments like this. We need to be thinking about what this is going to do to how do our school buses get around? How do our emergency vehicles get around? How are they going to do? People are already experiencing road rage and everything because people aren't going fast enough and they can't get where they're going. So it causes more stress and everything else to people. So we have to think of all those issues before we make a decision to allow huge developments of any kind to go into the county.
Well said. And the Terra Boulevard portion of it, especially that crosses, what is that, Battle Creek. They are going to be doing some infrastructure development there. My thought right now, and it's just a thought, is how do we leverage that state funding and the state funds to increase the pathways, to increase and better that infrastructure within that area where we are leveraging their dollars and not using as much of ours as we need to. So that's something I think we also have to begin to look at. My thought is we have to begin to increase our roadways, our sidewalks, and even our bridges as well in order to attract these businesses. We've got to make sure that our pedestrians are safe. We have to also make sure that our citizens can get from point A to B to these job opportunities that hopefully will be coming in the future. So I think we've all got to work collectively with the Development Authority, with the Board of Commissioners, with the Board of Education, in order that we increase our infrastructure smart. We begin to also make sure that as these new developments come in, that our schools can accommodate the potential number of students as well, that our roads can begin to handle cars. Right now, the statistic is for every household in Georgia, it varies. They basically say it's between 1.4 and about 1.8 cars per household. So we want to begin to take this math into consideration as well. I'm seeing questions come in. We can unmute ourselves and discuss this. I can't keep up with all of these. I got one on the restaurant on Broad Street. I know they're coming in. You'd have to speak with the city of Jonesboro as far as where they are within that, within their time frame of bringing it in.
And Commissioner, I wanted to make a comment. This is Erica. Just from an economic development standpoint, in talking about residential development and commercial development, they tend to follow one another. It really is the chicken and the egg thing. If you developers who do your nice commercial projects that will bring in your what we call family dining or even white tablecloth, they are looking at the rooftops in the area to justify the success of the venture of the types of businesses they'll recruit for their development. So if there aren't enough rooftops, they won't bring the restaurants. And then on the other hand, it works, vice versa. The residential developer, if you build these houses, there will be a demand for these people needing somewhere to eat and shop and patronize local neighborhood commercial spaces. So they do go hand in hand. It's just a matter of how communities approach it. The Main Street model that I got my start in economic development in focused on build all the commercial and you'll spawn residential because people will want to live near these cool places to eat and shop and have green space and outdoor entertainment, et cetera. So it still has to be done smart and planned well. I also will say, with regard to that Terra Boulevard, Old Dixie Highway, which is that, gateway to the county on that upper end, we are working conjunctively with the city of Riverdale to make that Upper Riverdale Road a med tech corridor. There's a lot of vacant medical office space, too much actually, where specialty offices like cardiologists and, internal medicine doctors, have left the county and located somewhere else. So we now are putting together an attraction package we want medical specialty to look at these sites. They're affordable. I'm sure we'll be engaging Drew and our development authority for some financing for some of these projects, but that will then spawn a different type of customer with, the population of doctors, nurses, practitioners in that area, and they'll put a demand for restaurants and a certain even living option. And so I know the Sizemore Group, before I came on board, did a study about Upper Terra, Old Dixie, and a master plan. So we like to bring that to the BOC to have them look at that plan and officially adopt it. I don't think it was ever adopted. So it'll be a good time for your constituents to be able to sit and hear that as well, and be able to chime in or give comments. But it's growing these nodes and sectors of the county, it will kickstart our being an attractive option all around in all districts for the type of development your constituents are saying that they want.
Yes, we have to. Can you all also address, you did have there's a question about tours with some of the business leaders that come in and want to bring in. And I know you did have one that I even participated in. Can you tell folks what you did and the purpose of doing that tour, or those kind of tours?
Sure. We do two types of tours. First off, economic development is all about partnership. So we're partners with Aerotropolis, and they help us on the marketing side of setting a date for a tour, splitting the cost of the bus with us, and then inviting the real estate community. We start with commercial brokers who we can't take it for granted that know all about Clayton County. People only know what they've heard or read in the news or what their friends told them, which may be highly inaccurate. And so we do these tours twice a year of, number one, commercial developers. These are people who build shopping centers, who build, what we call your power centers, where you may have a anchor store and then some small neighborhood commercial and restaurants around it. And we tour the county. We show them areas where we want to see this development happen. And then we show them redevelopment opportunities, maybe of some of our outdated strip malls where, I've been in communication with the owner and who has said they'd like to sell or redevelop. Secondly, we do one on the residential side. One of the things that was eye-opening to me about our strategic plan, there were 4 pillars that focused on. One of the pillars is housing and income equality, and I volunteered for that particular committee. And I was stunned just by the stats regarding our housing, the age of our housing, the lack of diversity of type of housing, but the demand is here. And so we've got good people leaving the county to live somewhere where they can get a nice townhome or something built on a more modern scale, young families, millennials, a young workforce that has a good income for the household. So when we do this residential tour with our these are realtors as well as residential developers, we'll be presenting some of the results from this study. Hey, we want houses in this price point that look like this. So it'll be very easy. It'll be a visual and a description because, we see those popping up in other parts of the metro area. They're very trendy, but attractive for empty nesters as well as millennials or young families getting their start, or young singles getting their start. So that's the 2 purposes of the tour. We also do them for the BOC, right? As we talk about Mountain View and these other mysterious parts of the county, I say, we'll do a tour for internal staff, just so everybody can see the parcel, can see, what the actual issue is and what we're going to be going after, or what someone is proposing to buy from the county and what they want to build there. So tours are necessary for that as well. We're open though and available. We'll put together one for any subject matter. So maybe one thing we've never done is for our citizens. Obviously we couldn't house them all, but we could do a small subset and say, okay, let's do a tour of either your district and talk about the nuances of it. There's a great new business. Well, we're getting ready to do a business spotlight economic newsletter for the county. And I'm going to feature 5 businesses that are just wowing me. They're wowing the state, and we should all be proud of them. We don't have enough bragging rights. It's there, you just don't know about it. And so our first interview we just did was with Studio Service Group, and it's in your district, Commissioner. I believe that's your district, right there on Jonesboro Road, past Battle Creek, going towards Smith Street. But you know, they're a 200,000 square foot prop studio business. They moved from Suwannee to Clayton County. They said Clayton County has everything they ever wanted in terms of access, and just about every movie that's filmed in the state gets their props from this particular company. And when I say props, it could be anything from, hey, I need an old junk car, or I need a, you know, I don't know, a statue of Venus de Milo or whatever. There is a need for this type of industry, but it's really powerful, and it's exciting that we're home to that, and that all these production companies have to pass through Clayton to get what they need to film their movies and build out their sets. So I just want to encourage the community, you know, yes, we've got the issues that everybody else has: traffic, congestion, infrastructure, redevelopment. But from my desk, you know, it's just like a rocket of influx of good projects, inquiries, and great companies that are locating here. Another one we're spotlighting is a big solar panel company who says they have currently 25 permits to do Clayton homes, where people are being energy smart and doing the solar panels on the roof. But they chose Clayton County for, you know, location, access on and off the interstate, and affordability of the commercial space. So with companies like that, they have people who want to live, and then they'll be looking for homes. And if we get the home options there, you know, for the certain buyer, we don't have a prototype right now. We've got two ends of the spectrum. So we want to appeal to that mid-market, and we will get there.
Well, we're moving forward. We're going to continue to move forward. So thank you for that. Also, can you put your email address out? Some folks want to contact you. So if you can put your email address in the chat, that'd be great.
Okay. Yep, we'll do.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. But, you know, these are the conversations that drive our efforts in moving forward. This is the concept part, but we want to take this concept part and make it reality. So that's why I welcome you all's true thoughts on these matters. We're in this together. You know, if there's traffic, we're pretty much all stuck, but we don't want to do that. We want to figure out a way to move us forward. We want to be competitive with the other municipalities and counties in our region to make sure that we are growing our digest in a healthy way in order that we can increase the quality of life here in Clayton County. So that's what we want to do here. Does anyone else have any comments on this subject before we move on? Anyone else? Okay, I'll take that as a no. And anybody have any questions to any of our directors or our chiefs on any other subject matter or concerns that you're having in the county?
This is Judy Taylor again. I had several things. We didn't have anyone from code enforcement, and that's all right because they're doing a really good job, I think, in what they have to work with and everything. But weeks ago, we talked about blighted apartment complexes in the county, and that we need to do something about about those. And we have, of course, a particular issue in Sherwood Forest subdivision with our Tara Woods apartments. And 5 or 6 years ago, one of the huge units in back of this apartment complex burned, and the outside structure is still standing, but it's all burned up. It's nothing has ever been done to do anything except clean up trash around there. It still stands there after all of this time. And then in March, we had another unit that's right on Sherwood Drive burned, and nothing's been done about that. This is not code enforcement's fault. This goes back to the court systems and what the apartment owners are doing to stop having to do anything because they say it's in the courts. But it seems to me as if after all this time, we ought to be able to have things open back up. And some of this happened way before the courts closed down because of COVID and everything. I just would ask that we look into seeing what can be done to start the process to clean up these burned units and things like that. They're cutting the grass now, and they do at least keep the dumpsters cleaned up. Thank goodness, because code enforcement stays on them all the time. And they shouldn't have to do that, but they do have to. But anyway, we have those areas like that, and I do want to thank you know, the people that are working on that, like Warden Nelson and Captain McDonald, who work on this. And that's one issue. And then the other issue is also, I wanted to thank Captain Flynn for all the work they do in Sherwood Forest to help us out with the noise issues, traffic issues, and a particular nice group of really well professional, nice officers who handle the fact that a stolen car was left in the neighborhood, and they handled that issue. And they were very informative and very helpful. So I thank them for all of that too. And then the other issue was the gunshots and fireworks that the chief alluded to. It was really bad over the 4th of July, days before, days after, whatever. And I noticed that in the AJC, in the city of Milton, they said that they came in and the only days that they will allow fireworks are the few days that the state of Georgia says you allow them. They have banned all fireworks from their area any other time. And people are not just shooting them off over the holidays, they're shooting them off all the time, all the day, all the night, plus mixed in with gunshots. It makes it very difficult to know whether you need to be really worried about it or just the fact that they're so loud and noisy because they're allowed to shoot off these heavy industrial type fireworks. So is there anything that can be done? Would the county consider looking at, we do have the little noise ordinance that didn't even mention fireworks, just mentioned the rat-a-tat-tat noise and things like that. We need a fireworks ordinance that handles this year round and everything else too. So I just would appreciate anything we could do, because the most complaints you get on next door neighbor and everything is all about gunshots and fireworks.
Okay, going to that, the state has set forth the statute on fireworks. There's no county in Georgia that can supersede that, nor Milton. So they can't do that. So we had to put it in a noise ordinance. The state has said these are the days and times when you can use fireworks. And for your 4th of July, I think it's 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th, it goes up to midnight. Now, granted, I'm not huge on fireworks, but we've got to abide by the state. So that's why we instilled that's why we instilled a local ordinance to try to address that as well. Even though it's 3-4 second popping and all of that, it's going to be hard for and just be honest, it's going to be hard for our PD to begin to go out and say, well, you're popping after hours. How do we begin to prove all that? So we've got to figure out what to do and how to control it. And how the state is going to get involved in perhaps even controlling it through the type of fireworks that are being sold in these communities. Is there an issue? Yes. Are we trying to address it? Yes. Did we try to address it through the noise ordinance? Yes. Are we getting compliance? We are getting compliance from this, but we're not getting it at the level that is deemed necessary to begin to save the mental health of a lot of our veterans. And we've got a lot of animals that go into shock as well. So we are addressing this as well. As far as the blighted properties, we did have Chief Magistrate Judge coming on this morning, and she contacted me and said she could not make it. She's in an emergency TPO hearing right now. So she's actually addressing something else. So she will be on next month so we can address that. Chief, do you have anything to add about those burned down units? Do you know anything about those?
I know that Ms. Taylor and I have had this concern with Sherwood Forest for years, as she said, and the process just has been exceptionally long as it relates to movement from the courts. And that's where we are. I think the county has gone as far as we can legally without some type of support from our courts on this matter. And I know she's frustrated just like I am, because like she said, it's been multiple years and we need to be moving faster as a community to get these blighted properties resolved so that our communities look better. We talk about economic development. Those are things that take away from our opportunities to move forward in the area of economic development. So as she said, we need some movement from our court, and I'm sure that our new magistrate judge probably has some great ideas to expedite that process.
Great, thank you for that. We also had a question here on the trees down by the Water Authority. Those trees are being cut down, and that is part of the infrastructure development and the widening of Battle Creek. They are going to change the traffic pattern on Battle Creek, which those trees now are going to take the road. I think if you're traveling, what would that be? Southeast, it's going to take the road and shift it more towards the east. So that's going to help with the traffic pattern over there. somewhat. So that's why they're cutting down all those trees. And if we see a lot of the trees down on Mount Zion as well, same thing. They're shifting the traffic patterns for that. What else do we have here? So any other questions from anyone?
This is Erica. I did have a question in the chat box about, I had a question from a realtor on if they want crime stats on a particular neighborhood regarding a home that they're marketing or trying to close out a sale on. How do they get that, or who's the best person to ask that to?
Erica, they can easily get that information through our community affairs unit, and they just need to give us the area they want and we'll make it so.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Going once, twice. No more questions?
I've been trying to get crime stats for my community for about 3 years, Chief. Is there a particular number or email address that I can call to make this happen?
Yes, sir, your sector captain, and his information should be in the chat. Captain Flynn, you on?
Okay, I have.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
And
I have a captain.
make sure we coordinate with Mr. Murphy to get him the stats that he needs.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Great.
And I needed it on Cedar Woods subdivision. Thank you.
Okay. Captain Flynn, if you can just put your number out in the chat, that'd be great. So they can contact you in reference to those.
Yes, sir. My email and my phone number are both in the chat.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Hold on 1 second, Commissioner. Captain Maddox.
I got that, Bethsaida Woods. I caught that.
Thank
That was
you,
Ms.
sir.
Rocker, right?
Yes.
Got it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Commissioner.
Great, great. Well, I want to thank you all. I want to give you some upcoming events. The chairman is going to have his Chairman 5K run on Saturday, August 21st. That's over Lee Street Park. So that's to benefit CASA. So those of you that want to walk, run, but to help benefit an organization that is detrimental to our foster care system and our children, it's a fun event. So come on out and support that. We have and I'm gonna, D, cut me off if I say something wrong. We've got our back to school events. School starts August 2nd. So begin looking forward to that. I'm going back and read. It says, please attend the Clayton County Public Schools 5th Annual Mobile Back to School Extravaganza. That's Saturday, July 31st from 10 to 12. That's from 10 to 12. And it's the locations, the Riverdale Town Center, Star Park, 12 Oak Stadium, Money's Mill High, North Clayton Middle School, Stillwell School of the Arts, and Terrace Stadium. So it's a drive-through event. So D, if you can send me, if you're still on, send me any information on that and I'll go ahead and post that so that we can get that out to the citizens here. So thank you for that information. We're also, go ahead.
Okay, I sure will.
Thank you.
I sure will. I'll send it to you. All right.
We're also, the Clayton County Youth Commission, they're having a COVID teens and vaccine discussion. And their guest will be Dr. Suda Reddy, who works for she's the physician for our, I guess it would be EMS, but she does a great job. So that's July 21st from 6 to 7. And this is sponsored by our Youth Commission. And these young folks do a tremendous job. So even come out and support them. I'll put that information, it's via Zoom. But if you have young folks, that's a good time for them to come out to engage with their peers and begin to learn about what's going on with this COVID. So we'll have that going. And also on July 19th at Sports Cafe, I'm having a community meeting where we are looking at renaming some streets over in, if you all know where Sports Cafe is, over in that area. Going down Terra Boulevard, you take a right on Robert E. Lee, and those streets back there, we're looking at doing some renaming initiatives on that, and we want to begin to discuss this with the county. So anyone that has information, please come on out. We'll be posting those signs up here shortly to make sure the community is well involved in this. So any other questions or concerns before we go ahead and close this out? Anyone? Okay. Well, our next meeting will be on Saturday, August 14th. I want to thank those that have been coming on, we have the new folks that have come on. Please bring some folk out. We want to hear from you because it's not me that makes this community move forward. It's you all that make the community move forward. And let's get involved, and we're going to stay on the same train together, and we're going to move this county forward together, and we're all going to get there together. So thank everybody for coming out, and you all have a very safe and blessed weekend. Thank you much.